Hello and welcome back to the Boozle Box and Tekkit. We are back on our lovely flat Tekkit world, and as I said in the last episode, today we will be looking at an automated farm, and this is kind of the building which I constructed because it took quite a long time. Obviously I'm on a super flat world, so I've only got about 3 blocks until I hit bedrock, so I have to build everything above the ground and a little building underneath, so I can fit all the logic in, because normally I'd dig it into the ground. But anyway, this is what I've come up with. I'll quickly show you around. The front of the building is 19 blocks wide, and it's 27 blocks along. Got my 2 nice double doors. It's quite a large building. We're going to have lots of logic and pipes and God knows what in here making the farm work. Now up here we have these 2 farming strips, of which we're going to add the automated farming systems to. These spaces are, I think it's 7 blocks by 4 blocks. That's not counting the stone bits here. And then we have this middle path here, which is actually 1 block lower than the water and the dirt. That's kind of how I've built it, and you'll realise why soon. I've also got this little, what looks like a helipad out the back. Now this is where we will be building the power systems to power the frame motors that will be moving the automated farm, as you will see in... I'll probably put it in the top right hand corner. You should be able to see something now. It'll magically appear on the screen, and that's the farm that we're going to be building. That's in my test world, and that's what I come up with, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Right, so to start with, we're going to have to build the system that moves along the farming strip. Now, you can see it down there. I've segregated it out into the different layers, and I'll show you that in a moment. But to start with, we'll just collect everything we're going to need for this. So we're going to need the support frames, a redstone tube. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that something tube. Deployer, block breaker, chest. We're going to need a block of iron. We're also going to need a saw, of which I've neglected to put in this chest. Diamond handsaw, and that is just all the materials I used to build this building out of. These blocks here are double, I think they're, yeah, double stone brick slabs, unlike the stone bricks that are on the Tekkit doors over there. It's just nice because it makes it a little lighter. I think it looks nicer. Anyway, right. So this is the I don't know what we're going to call it. We'll call it a trolley or something. Personally, when it's finished, I think it looks like a large printer that kind of goes along. But what little oh God, I can't speak today. What it'll do is it'll move along these farming strips. It'll suck up the wheat as it goes along. It'll then hoe the ground and plant the seeds behind. And it started raining. Look at that. British weather for you. Right, so this is the middle part. That's the bottom bit, and that's the top section. The green block represents the same place on each layer. Now, there are going to be 2 of these. We'll start building the first one. You've got to start by removing part of your too high wall from the farm, and that's so we can add the cover slips later. And that just stops, as you would have seen in my last video, that stops it dragging any blocks along. It just stops the frames dragging any blocks along when it's moved by the motors. Right, so as to our plan down there, this is 5 blocks along, and right, we want the front of the trolley to be facing this way. So the front of the trolley is the other side of the green block, so we're going to have to flip this design around. Okay, so the frames need to go across here, like so. Now, this is quite an efficient farming system. It's probably not the most efficient, but you're never going to be able to get the most efficient system. But it is pretty good, and it does produce quite a bit of wheat. Yeah, it does produce quite a bit of wheat. The reason there are two is because obviously wheat takes a long time to grow. So what the second side does is it will destroy its wheat when the first side is finished, so you get a more constant flow than usual. Well, not than usual. Personally, if you're sat there on a normal farm doing it yourself, then it's a pretty lumped flow of wheat. Right, so that's the middle frame, and this is the bit that's going to be sliding along the top of the walls, back and forth, destroying the wheat and replanting it, and getting all that wheaty goodness so you can make your breakfast cereals. Because that's obviously what you're going to be doing with your wheat when you have it. Right, now we'll complete all of the frames before we start putting in any of the block breakers or deployers. So the top frame is going to be another 2 blocks on top of this, and there, and also it comes out one here and goes all the way along. Now this frame design is obviously it's pre-thought out, because everything you can see down here is stuck to a piece of frame. There's nothing that won't be stuck to a piece of frame, so everything moves when it's when the frame motor moves one part of the frame. The whole lot goes, the chests, everything. Now the reason I'm using this kind of wire instead of the alloy, well, this is actually jacketed wire, but instead of the other kind of wire that's used in Red Power, is because it won't stick to the frame. It can do, but it can also fall off. So it's better to use this, as it will be moved by the frame motors. Right. So this is the top part nearly done. This last bit, of which I'm now trying to work out, goes on top of here, like so. Actually, it's only 3. There we go. Right, so that's the top bit, and now the bottom piece is the first 2 go under here, and the next 2, I believe it's a 2 gap there. Yep. And so that you leave a 2 gap, and then there's another 2 frames here and here. So that's all the frames completed. Now we need to think about adding the block breakers and the deployers. Now the block breakers are the things that are going to suck up the wheat, and the deployers are the things that are going to hoe the ground and deploy the seeds, or sow the seeds. So we'll put in the deployers first. That's what a deployer looks like. It's a deployer 150. It's the latest model. It's got all your deploying needs, so I definitely choose that one, as it's just amazing. Right, so deployers being deployed, there we go, and we're going to need to add, there's 4 to each side. So, like so, like so. There we are. Right, that's all the deployers. Now, the block breakers are going to be, that's the front, are going to be at the back of the machine over here. And obviously everything's facing down, otherwise that would be a bit strange. It's how the wheat's growing on the ceiling. Right. Okay, so that's all the kind of the mechanically machiney bits. Now we're going to look at adding all of the wires and... Oh, I did have a wire ready. I thought I had a wire ready. Right, don't have the wire. One other thing I've forgotten. The cobblestone jacketed wire. I think that's made with a redstone alloy ingot and cover slips of your chosen material. Right, so this wire runs like so. Actually, let's put the I just broke a frame. I saw it go. Okay, right, let's figure out what frame I just broke. I think it was that one. It was literally just there. Okay, that's fine. Right, there we go. We'll do the middle layer first. So there needs to be shift click to add things directly on top of deployers or machinery like that. Doesn't work with vanilla machines, but it will work with red power machines, so you don't get this coming up every time you click to place a block. So there we go. It's a donut ring there. Ooh, and I seem to have ran out of jacketed wire, which is very strange as I'm in creative mode. Maybe shift clicking actually removes it. Oh, it does. Okay. Another thing I've learned, that's, you learn something new every day. If you shift click and put things down, apparently in creative mode it will actually remove them from your inventory. Right, so now we need the, I keep checking back with this, as you'll probably see, because it's got everything on it. Now we're going to add this part on. Now, because block breakers and deployers, they're all powered by a redstone signal. So the redstone signal has got to reach the block breakers and the deployers, and this can obviously be a bit annoying because you also need a pipe to reach the block breakers because they suck things up. So what you got to use is a redstone tube. Now this is a really cool tube, part of red power obviously, and it has kind of redstone mixed in with the sides of the tube, so you can send a redstone signal down it and also suck things up through it, which is incredibly useful. Okay, and this actually joins up to the jacketed wire and enables the signal to go all the way through. Right, we'll also add the same on the other side, and in between, because we don't need to worry about it being redstone tube, we'll have the, I believe it's pronounced pneumatic. Anyway, put it in the comments if you can like break that down into how to pronounce it, because I haven't got a clue. That would be nice. Right, now the last thing we need to do is add a chest, and the chest goes here. And what that'll do is all of the stuff that comes out of the block breakers will go straight up the tubes and into the chest. Right, now I believe that is everything. I don't trust myself, so I'm going to have a quick look around and make it daytime again, because I realised in my last tutorial it was nighttime half the time. Right, it looks like it's done. Right, so now the next thing to do to it is smother the thing in cover slips, using the diamond handsaw, obviously, to cut the blocks up. Just in case you don't know how to use a diamond handsaw, if you have a block and you want to slice it down the middle, you place the handsaw on top. If you want to slice it across that way, actually you can't slice a block across that way, but you can slice the slabs across this way to get strips and stuff like that. There's hundreds and hundreds of different things you can get from it. You just got to keep mucking around in the different ways you put the things in. I think that's the, yep, that's the as small as you can get it. That's the cover slips. Right, now you need to literally coat everything, bar what something is touching. So like I wouldn't want to put a cover slip where it's highlighted there, because that bit's actually holding onto this wire. So every surface that hasn't got something attached to it, you want to cover with cover slips. Right, so I'll quickly do this. Right, I'm nearly finished doing this. Just making sure just make sure you've got absolutely every surface that's not attached to something covered. Otherwise, when it starts moving, all hell breaks loose, and it just doesn't work. Actually, nothing really bad happens. It just doesn't move. But that's hell breaking loose because it's annoying. Right. So anyway, this is finished now. This will do its thing. Yeah. So that is that. Right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to build the one on the other side. But because you probably don't want to see me do that twice, I shall fast forward it, and therefore, yeah, you won't get completely and utterly bored. Right, so I will see you in a sec. That was my attempt at a fast forward voice, it wasn't it? I'm not going to use that. I will end up using that. Right, as far as I can see, that is all of oh no, I've missed a few there. I've nearly finished the second trolley. I've just missed a few bits. There we go, I believe that's it. So they're identical, except they're mirrored in the middle, so obviously the chests are on this side. You'll see why when we build what goes in this groove here, which is kind of the powering system for them. I did have an idea while I was doing that, and that was to get some lamps. I wonder if is there a red lamp? There is. There's a signal lamp, red lamp, and add it on here. Now, this may not work because I've never tried to add a lamp onto a frame. But what I'm hoping to happen is these lamps will actually flash when the trolleys are in motion. And again, that will all be explained in a slightly later episode. And I believe that is going to be all for this episode. I'll just give you a quick look at this again. Just in case you're building this at the same time, just for added looks at it or something. I don't know why. You might not even want to look at that, but you just looked at it. You did it again. Look. Anyway, right. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Especially subscribe, because then you'll get notified when the next video comes out, which should be very shortly after this episode is released. I'm not sure when I'm going to release it. It'll probably be sometime this week. Right. I think that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.